Well, welcome back to another video introducing you to Blackboard and the distance learning program at Holy Apostles. This video is entitled Basic Course Layout. We will wander around several different course layouts in this video. This video will give you a good introduction to the various layouts of courses that you may encounter as a distance learning student at Holy Apostles. Note, not all professors use the same layouts for all of their courses, and all courses may go through minor or major revisions from time to time. Each professor decides how the course is laid out and what he or she uses within each course, so you will see a variety. Just be flexible and try to adapt to whatever layouts you encounter. Here is the first page that the professor has created for this course, Apocalyptic Literature. It's the Announcements page. On the left-hand side, we see the blue menu. In here, we see all the different components that make up this course. We see a place for the syllabus, the announcements, which we're looking at right here, discussions, week 1, week 2, week 3, etc. Near the top, that is highlighted in yellow, we see what is called the cookie crumb bar. This tells us where we are. As we go deeper, as we go into different places, you'll see that this will change. You can click on this to navigate as well as keep track of where you are. We'll look at that a little bit later. Here we decide what we want to do in the course. This tells us we're currently looking at the announcements. Here we've chosen the syllabus page. Professors can display their syllabi in two different methods. In this method, the professor has created the syllabus in a PDF format and then uploaded it and posted it in this section. In order to see that syllabus, we click on the link that will open up the PDF file. Here we see the syllabus in PDF format. After we click on the link, Blackboard automatically loads Adobe Acrobat Reader. In this case, I have shrunk the view so that we can see one entire page. If you want to save it to your hard drive or print it out, the buttons over here on the left-hand side allow you to do that. The furthest left is the print button, in which case you can then choose the quality of print, how many copies you want, to which printer you want to send it, etc. And then the little diskette icon allows you to save it to your hard drive. It's a good idea to do both. Here we are back to the cookie crumb bar that I mentioned just a little bit ago. We can either click on Apocalyptic Literature Fall, that will take us back to the home page of the course, or because we are 3 screens in, we can click on Syllabus, which will get us to the second screen. Now I have chosen to click on the Discussions page. Here we see one particular discussion called the water cooler. Every class will have this, and this is an area where you and your fellow students can go and chit-chat about anything. You could discuss how the weather is, or questions about another class that you may want to take, or you could even discuss items within this course. That's up to you. Other professors use the discussion board and have very structured topics in which you and your fellow students will participate. A couple of the courses that we will look at in a moment use those types of formats. Some just simply have a water cooler. Here I have clicked on week 1. In this case, this was at the end of August through the beginning of September. This is called the weekly content folder. Within this folder, the professor may add a variety of different assignments, links, movies, etc. In this case, we have a PDF file that the professor has created explaining lesson 1. We have a reference to some of the course materials that are used, in this case, CDs produced by Scott Hahn, and then a link to the water cooler in case the students would like to use that in week 1. Here is another course, Documents of Vatican II. The home page for this course is also the announcements page, and we see there are quite a few announcements. This particular professor likes to use the announcements section to inform her students of all the variety of the issues that come up, various instructions that she has, a welcoming page, links to other interesting resources, etc. Some professors don't put a whole lot in the announcements section. Some put a lot at the beginning and have a lot of the course laid out right here. Other professors add announcements every week or every couple of weeks as things come up, where they read an interesting article or there's an interesting pilgrimage coming up that the students might want to attend, etc. From the left-hand blue menu, I clicked on Syllabus. This is the second way a syllabus may be presented. In this case, we don't have to click on a link to open up a PDF document. Instead, the syllabus was created in HTML and is displayed right within Blackboard. Each professor will have different elements within their syllabi. Some may have quite a bit. They could be multiple pages long. In this case, the syllabus is probably 2 pages, 2.5 pages long. Some syllabi may only be a half a page. Each one's different depending on the needs of the professor and how he or she decides to build them. Any questions, of course, that you have, you can ask your professor if it's not addressed in the syllabus. Here we see a discussion board that has quite a few different forums. There's the water cooler forum, like we saw in the previous course, and containers for each week. Some of these can be very lively, very interesting, and can be pretty challenging to post, depending on the topic and the instructions. If we were to scroll down, as we see with the yellow arrow over there, we would see more of these discussion forums. On the left-hand blue menu, we see Email, Communications, Blackboard Tools, and Help. Let's take a brief look at these. Here we see the Email menu option. This portion of the email system will only send email to those students, or professors, or assistants who are registered for this course. It does not send email to people outside of this course, even if they are enrolled in Holy Apostles. As you see from the options, you can send an email to everybody, certain groups. You can email all teaching assistants if you happen to have one in your course. You can email all students, all instructors, or specific people. And this email will then go out to those email accounts registered within Blackboard, and if they want to reply to you, a reply would come back to your email account. Once you start the process this way, then it pretty much brings it out into your private or Holy Apostles email account, and you can continue your conversation in that way. Here's a look at the Communications and Blackboard Tools option. They do the same thing. Click on Communications, you'll see this particular Tools/Communication screen. If you click on Blackboard Tools, you'll see the same thing. One interesting item of note here. You can get to the discussion board going through this link. There are quite a few different options in here. We're not going to go into detail, but some professors like to use blogs. Some professors might use a calendar, etc. And here's a place where you can access those. The help link brings up a very detailed user manual. I've used this myself multiple times in trying to figure out certain administrative functions. Feel free to look at it, use the search function, browse through it, whatever your time permits, and if you have any interest, feel free to do so. Here's a third class that we're going to take a look at. This one is entitled Ancient and Medieval Philosophy. You'll notice that the left-hand blue menu is quite a bit shorter than the other ones. We don't have any weekly containers here. Instead, we have the course material divided into different types of containers. We have the announcements and syllabus containers like we've seen before. In this case, we also have course documents and assignments. Let's take a look at these two. Here's the course documents page. Now here we have what looks like an interesting piece of paper in a globe and Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3. These are hyperlinks that go to the lecture notes that are available on the International Catholic University's web page. Some professors will refer you to those notes. Some may simply tell you to go there and give you the basic URL. In this case, each lesson has a link to it. Let's go ahead and click on Lesson 1 and see what that looks like. Here we are. The cookie crumb bar tells us where we are. We're still in Ancient and Medieval Philosophy. We've gone into Course Documents, and now we're in a sub-page, Lesson 1. And this page is from the International Catholic University's web page, but it's contained within this Blackboard shell. Here you would read the notes that the lecturer who created the course 5-10 years ago has created for you. Back to the course, where I've clicked on Assignments. Again, each of these will be a little different depending on the professor, how he or she teaches, the material, etc. In this case, we have Lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. We don't have the weeks. Here in Lesson 1, there's a writing assignment. Lesson 2, there's an essay due. Lesson 3, another essay, etc. Here's another discussion board. There are quite a few different forums that are going on various different topics. This is similar to what we saw in the previous course. These are not tied to specific weeks. Instead, these are tied to various topics. On the screen, you will notice a little arrow pointing to the left. This acts as a toggle switch, either to expand or to reduce the size of the content window.
In this case, it's the Day 1 content window from our orientation course. This is the standard view where we see the menu on the left and the content on the right. If we click on this arrow, it will expand the content window and the left-hand menu will disappear. As we see here, the left-hand menu is gone and the content window has expanded across the screen. The arrow now points to the right. If we click on it, the content window shrinks a little bit to the right and the left-hand menu then reappears.